On August 7, 1999, a single bottle of OxyContin arrived at a small pharmacy in Ohio, and within weeks it would ignite a cascade of prescriptions that would drown the nation in opioids. What began as a triumphant launch for a revolutionary painkiller soon spiraled into a decades-long public health catastrophe, claiming hundreds of thousands of lives and reshaping the very fabric of American medicine. The story starts in the early 1990s, when the American pain movement, driven by patient advocates, surgeons, and a growing belief that pain is the fifth vital sign, pressed the medical community to treat pain more aggressively. Purdue Pharma, a family-owned company, sensed an opportunity. Its new formulation, OxyContin, was a time-released version of OxyContin, promising up to 12 hours of pain relief with a single tablet. Purdue's marketing team, led by the charismatic president Michael Friedman, crafted a narrative that the drug was less addictive than traditional opioids, citing a handful of industry-funded studies that downplayed dependence risks. Armed with this science, Purdue launched an unprecedented promotional blitz. Sales representatives, known as detailers, were dispatched to more than 50,000 physicians across the country, armed with glossy brochures, free lunch seminars, and lavish gifts. They urged doctors to prescribe OxyContin for any moderate to severe pain, even after routine surgeries or minor injuries. The company offered generous financial incentives, speaking fees, travel reimbursements, and even a pain management consulting service that helped physicians meet insurance requirements. By the end of 2000, OxyContin sales had exploded from $100 million to over $1.3 billion, and prescriptions surged by more than 400% nationwide. The rapid uptake of OxyContin exposed a glaring disconnect between marketing hype and clinical reality. Physicians, many of whom had never been trained in chronic pain management, began writing scripts for doses that far exceeded the recommended limits. Patients, lured by the promise of no more pain, found themselves on a steady stream of high-potency opioids. Within a few years, emergency rooms reported a sharp rise in opioid-related overdoses, and treatment centers saw an unprecedented influx of individuals seeking help for dependence. By 2005, the United States recorded more than 15,000 opioid overdose deaths annually, a figure that would double in the following decade. The legal reckoning began in 2007, when federal investigators uncovered a trove of internal Purdue documents that revealed a deliberate strategy to downplay addiction risks and to target high-volume prescribers. The company had funded pain education, conferences that featured speakers with undisclosed financial ties, and it had manipulated data to suggest that the risk of addiction was less than 1%, a figure that starkly contradicted independent research. In 2007, Purdue Pharma pleaded guilty to misleading the public about OxyContin's safety, paying a $600 million fine and agreeing to a 10-year corporate integrity agreement. The settlement included a promise to change marketing practices, fund addiction treatment, and make the company's internal research publicly available. The trial, however, was only the tip of the iceberg. An autopsy of the epidemic's human toll tells a deeper, more tragic story. In the years that followed, medical examiners across the country began to list opioid intoxication as a leading cause of death, often alongside synthetic cannabinoids, benzodiazepines, or alcohol, a deadly cocktail that magnified OxyContin's lethal potential. Families of victims recounted how a loved one's prescription started as a legitimate painkiller after a car accident, then escalated to doctor shopping, illicit pill mills, and ultimately, a fatal overdose. The demographic profile shifted dramatically, from middle-aged white suburban men to a diverse cross-section of the population, including teenagers in rural Appalachia and African American communities in urban centers. In the aftermath, the United States has struggled to stitch together a fractured response. Federal agencies launched the Opioid and Drug Abuse Prevention (ODAP) grants, while the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC) issued new prescribing guidelines in 2016 that urged clinicians to limit opioid use to the lowest effective dose and to consider non-opioid alternatives. Many states enacted pill mill laws, mandating stricter monitoring of prescriptions through real-time databases. Yet the crisis has proven resilient. The rise of illicit fentanyl, a synthetic opioid far more potent than OxyContin, has driven overdose deaths to historic highs, eclipsing 100,000 fatalities in 2022 alone. The legacy of the 1999 OxyContin launch serves as a stark reminder of how aggressive pharmaceutical marketing can warp medical practice and endanger public health. It underscores the necessity of rigorous, independent research, transparent prescribing, and a healthcare system that prioritizes patient safety over profit. As the nation continues to grapple with the fallout, building treatment infrastructure, re-educating prescribers, and supporting families left in mourning, the story of the opioid epidemic remains unfinished, its chapters still being written in courts, hospitals, and the lives of those forever changed. Subscribe to the Autopsy Files for more medical history stories.